Well, I guess this is one of those fun ones. Remember, I told you this Greg Miss. So with Greg Miss, you're gonna get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So today, in my house, woke up to take a shower. When I took the shower, guess what? Cold water. It's turned all the way to the left in my shower, and the water is still cold. So I'm like, man, what's going on? Y'all see the little darkness in my eyes? That's why I have my baseball cap flipped back a lot, so you can see my pretty face. And so, yeah, just in case y'all want to see that, yeah, that's an old school shirt, Jackson State University. This was this is the Bayou Classic. So this is the Bayou Classic, so Grambling versus Southern. So either way, I represent Jackson State as well, but I'm from Louisiana, so that's in my blood. I see water down here. That's water. I know it's kind of clear, but how about let's splash it? Splish splash, taking a bath, right? So at the time, initially I wasn't even paying attention. I said, okay, well, maybe I can't see it. I didn't really want to stick my hand in. It was kind of early. So then what I did was I came out here to the side of the house. The one thing that's cool about the way they build houses now is that they'll actually have a drain. And at the time, this pipe right here was just a draining. You can tell it's dripping a little bit now. You see my hand? That's water. But the only reason it's not dripping all the way out because this pipe is not all the way where it needs to be. It's actually not all the way to the bottom of it. So we got to take that water out of the thing, out of the pan, the spill pan. So how about them apples? How about that? You know what I mean? So for the most part, that's a replacement of a water heater. But the good news is that I have American Home Shield. There's no other way to say it. I literally have replaced this in 2012. Now the good thing about 2012 is that it was 2012 when I got the replacement, but I built my house in 98. So that, do the math on that. It's 14 years. That's like I said, 14 years that I actually was able to have a water heater. Now this is only 8. So I'm a little disappointed. I thought I'd be able to get at least six more years on this one as well. But hey, the one thing that's cool about it, it'll be replaced under American Home Shield. The first time I did not have American Home Shield, I had to pay it out of pocket. So that was easy, about $1,000. And looky. Here is the guys right here. That's the guys right there, Maclin Plumbing. So he's about to come in here and do a quick little assessment. Yep, you need a repair. And once he got it done, so the way it works, American Home Shield comes out, and when they come out, they'll assign a team, they'll assign a plumber. The plumber comes out. After the plumber comes out, they'll do an assessment. After they do an assessment, they'll call in and say, hey, this needs to be replaced. American Home Shield approves the repair. After American Home Shield approves the repair, bada bing, bada boom, it gets replaced. Say hello to YouTube. That's Grant from Maclin right there, y'all. So he don't even have any tools because he know what time it is. Pretty much what you think. Before even looking at it, what you think?
Well, it said leaking water. I'm assuming it's probably going to need to be replaced.
That's it. That's why it ain't done to it. It's about 8 years old, and I think it's about 6-year warranty.
Yep.
So pretty much it's 2 years past. I got 2 years past the warranty.
That's typical.
And I turned the thing off so it don't have any, so it could just stop wasting water. All right, so this is where my water heater is, and you can tell I got a water softener, which is pretty good. Hey, does some good stuff. So y'all ever get a water softener, I highly recommend. Hey, but anyway, long story short, this is where my water heater is, and the one that I had, just so you'll know which one it is, Bradford White Defender System, and something else over there. But anyway, so when I came out here, I come down and I initially see, oh my God, there's water right there. So it's a lot of water. It's a lot of water in there, right? So I heard this little running water type thing. Initially, I thought it was just the pilot, but it turns out it was water. So I was like, okay, usually I don't hear the water running that much. So what I did was when the guy called me to set up the session, to set up the America Home Shield, I asked him, what do I need to do to turn this water off? And so that little yellow thing, that's the tab that I pushed up. So if y'all want to hear it, as soon as I turn it on, did y'all hear that? So now water is going back into my house, but as soon as I push it up, no water is coming into my house. Okay, so if you all have this situation, by all means, just go ahead and just turn this off until you get your plumber to come up. Just turn it off so you get your plumber to come up. And then, of course, the true test on whether you can see now a little bit better, that little yellow thing in the back, that's the tab that I had to push up to turn off the water. Now, of course, if you really want to see what the results are, your water in your kitchen or in your house on the hot side shouldn't work. So there you go. You see that water's coming? I got it full out. And the pressure is going lower and lower and lower, because literally I just turned it back on. So that's why you even got that little bit of water in there. But see, it's just going off, and it's going off right now. Be mindful, this is full out, so now it's off, and my water is still turned on. So let me turn it off. So hopefully that helps you all. Hopefully that helps you, because like I say, you never want that kind of expense. But if you got American Home Shield, I'm not gonna even lie, it's definitely worth the money. Hope that helps. And it ain't gonna be too much more to watch, because from here on out, the plumbers are gonna hopefully come in here and make the claim, call American Home Shield, approve the work, the replacement, and then get me a new water heater. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps somebody in case you're about 6 years, 7 years in your water heater. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So just think about that. I called the plumber who put this one in. I've been using him for years upon years, and he's now even retired. And he said they just don't make them like they used to. So your water heater, even though I got 8 years out of this one and 14 out of the first one, remember I thought I was gonna get me another 6 years out of this one, So I'm a little disappointed in that. But at the end of the day, it ain't a question of if it's gonna fail, it's when it's gonna fail. And the thing that's even scarier, what about the people? I repeat, what about the people who have a water softener in their attics? In their attics. The ones that have it in their attics, guess what? You now may potentially have damage from the ceiling being replaced, the floors being replaced because of water damage. I've seen that happen so many times. What if this thing even got clogged, right? Even worst case scenario, in my situation, if it starts doing all that, if it actually starts, like I've seen it spraying in some people's houses, even this one having the issue right now, even if that thing got clogged, it'll still spill over, but it'll spill over in my garage. What happens a lot of times, it'll spill over and it's in their attic, and when it spills over in their attic, all that water comes down into the house on the ceiling. You got floor damage, you got ceiling damage, and all that stuff. And sometimes it's mold, depending on how soon you caught it and got a chance to dry it up. So just think about that. So hopefully this helps. I ain't trying to scare nobody, but I would encourage you to get American Home Shield if you don't have a brand new house. All right, much love.
All right.
And pretty much he done. That assessment's done. That's all it takes. But he just got to go through he has to go through the process. he has to go through the process of going through American Home Shield, approve that it needs to be replaced. They got to do their work. So I'm hoping they don't try to charge me anything extra besides my deductible. I had the $75. I encourage you to get the $75 deductible as well. I think you pay a little bit more you pay a little bit less for a higher deductible. But I just decided let me just do the least expensive deductible as possible. So hopefully this helps somebody. Like I say, a water heater will fail. It's not if it's going to fail, it's when. So if you don't have American Home Shield, you're around 6 years, 7 years in, I would probably encourage you at least to get a American Home Shield to protect your home. Because like I say, this easy as $1,000 repair. And I prefer not to pay that out of my pocket. So much love. Hope everything's good. Peace. Just like that, minutes later, maybe 10 minutes, it's a replacement. Just that serious. And this gentleman, by the way, is Maclin Plumbing. So they're going to be the ones who were assigned to the case. And as you can see, he gone. So the steps now is he has to order to make the claim with American Home Shield. After he makes the claim with American Home Shield, he'll then get it approved for the replacement and then come back and do the installation. So of course they got to order the part. After order the part, get it delivered to them, then they come here and install it. So maybe we might have more details about that, and we'll go from there. Well, it ain't so easy, y'all. I thought I thought I thought it was gonna be easy breezy, but apparently it's something about some some systems need to be brought up to spec, and I didn't really trust it. So I asked American Home Shield to bring out a second opinion, and when they brought the second opinion, it sounded like he's saying the same thing as the first one. And that means I got to pay extra money out of my pocket to get this rest of this thing done. So, just so you know, no shade on him. He's just doing his job. Pipe Down Services is the one who's doing the second opinion. He's one of the guys for what's called the Maclin Plumbing was the first one. So that's all fun, but I just hate coming out of my pocket for anything extra. But apparently, all the mods and the code corrections are part of making it work. So you gotta love it or hate it or whatever the case may be. Of course, some things are going to be covered. The main part, which is of course the water heater, will be covered. Installation of the water heater, but then all these other codes, they'll be chunking up prices of like $400, $300. I'm like, what in the world am I paying for? So totally disagree with it, but I need to get my water back, so I'm gonna have to chunk it up and bite the bullet. Of course, there's a cash out version or something that needs to be done too, so that's always fun. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna end up having to come out of pocket somehow, some way. So anyway, holler at you later. Peace. Well, well. Pipes Down Services and came as the second opinion, and it looked like they gave me even more stuff. This bid in my hand is just ridiculously high with the additional modifications that whoever decided it's time to add. Let me show y'all what's going on. So pretty much, pretty much, pretty, pretty much, y'all see this. I'm gonna show y'all this thing real quick. This is crazy. This is crazy. In addition to, let me show you. I'm gonna try to put it on my car so y'all can kind of see it. In addition to the work, this is the main thing. I don't even know what half the stuff means. In addition to what's covered by the warranty, the part that's not covered by the warranty is a price of $12.80. That's right. What in the world is that? All these different things on here that's supposed to be upgrades and code, this, this. I'm like, some of it is just ridiculous. So all these different codes over here, none of that makes sense to me. It makes sense for him for something, but all these details are just a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. So this is the bid. I'll take a nice little picture of it. But there he goes. Pipes Down Service. About to pull off. But unfortunately, he's pulling off with a lot of my money in his pocket. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did this entire thing about $1,000 in 2012. Ain't nothing changed. That's going to include this whole thing for $1,200 combined with the additional $1,200 to be almost a $3,000 repair. What in the world has changed? Nothing. Somebody hustling, somebody winning. That's my argument. So, but I'm tired of taking cold showers. Somehow what happens is the water fills up in the little spill pan, and once it fills up in the spill pan, it actually makes the pilot go out. So there's a whole lot of things I'm up and considering right now. Switching a whole lot of things out. Maybe I just need to go with an electrical version of a water heater. I wonder if that's an option. And I can kill some of this gas, kill some of the combustion, all this other stuff. Maybe that might be what I need to do. I don't even know if that's an option. But either way, right now, I'm stuck with almost a $1,300 bill for my part. When I got a warranty, what in the hell? What in the world? Well, Pipes Down Plumbing is gone. One more down. Seemed like a good group of guys, but he gone. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'll tell y'all right now, we actually are here, and long story short, I had to bite the bullet and pay some code upgrades. Grant can't do nothing about it. This is his job. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about some of the things that need to be upgraded for it, and then from there, he's gonna go back and forth on certain things as well. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna get some real good action shots. He's gonna explain some of the technical stuff, and then so we can make sure that we know exactly what's going on for the upgrade, so you can kind of learn and have an expectation of what experience you'll go through as well. Because some of this I actually spent some money that I didn't need to spend, some of which was pretty much getting a second opinion, and the second opinion basically said the same thing they did, dude. You just gotta bite the bullet, man. You just gotta bite the bullet. You got some code upgrades you gotta do, and so forth. So, long story short, we're gonna go record and capture a few of the pieces of the installation, as well as explain some of the things, so you'll know what to expect whenever you get yours. Now, truth be told, these are codes from my area, which is in specifically Pflugerville, Texas. But if you may have different codes in your area, your city, your state. So it may be a whole different experience for you, but this is the one from my area. So hope that helps. Stay tuned.
Homeowner right there, say hi, boss.
What's up, baby? How you doing? Greg.misc.
We got two different YouTubers going on here. What's your handle?
greg.misc, like short for miscellaneous. greg.misc is my handle. So hopefully y'all chime in. We'll get two different views of this one, but I definitely want to make sure Grant is doing this thing for Maclin Plumbing, knocking out this so I can stop taking cold showers.
Yeah, no fun. All right, but like I said, maintenance, first thing, and probably one of the most important things a homeowner can do with their water heater to extend the life of it is to drain it every 6 months. A lot of people say once every year. I say 6 months.
And I don't do that really.
On this one in particular, I got lucky. I usually have to put this type of valve on there before I start draining it for a replacement. Now, what I usually tell the homeowners to do up here, right now, like I said, it's off, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it on just so we can see what's gonna happen. Typically, this valve right here is a screw. You can put a screwdriver in there, you turn it counterclockwise, and that'll open it up. So we're gonna turn that up. Let's see what we got going on right now. It should be coming out.
I guess I got it empty, man.
That ain't empty.
Uh-oh, I hear the water coming.
And there it comes.
Oh, good God. Did y'all see that mud?
All that right.
Oh, my God.
So this is why I recommend you flush your water heater with that valve on. That way, all of that gunk and sediment. Let me move this.
Oh my goodness, y'all see the sediment?
You can kind of see it on that leaf right there.
Look at this white stuff, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that gook. That came out of my, and this is with a water softener, people. This is with a water softener. And I still see a little bit still over there. But look at that leaf. That's the best sign right there. The leaf right there.
Look at that water. That's not clear either.
That brown stuff is, oh my God, that's what I've been bathing in?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
You see how that water is not clear?
That water still is not clear, y'all. Oh my goodness. I've been bathing in this? Oh good God. So I guess I need to do better.
This is why it is so important that you
flush
your water heater.
All right, so let me show y'all this leaf. That brown stuff that's on this leaf is what came out of my water heater. Oh my God!
Look, you got a good solid portion of it right here.
What is this?
Sediment.
This is sediment?
That sits at the bottom of your tank.
Dude, this is a rock.
So eventually, let's come back over here just so that we can show them exactly what happens here.
This is a freaking rock, y'all. Okay.
And I've got a picture I'll show you too that actually shows a better example of this. What happens is over time, this is a newer water heater, okay? It was manufactured in, what did I say?
2012.
2012. So this heater is barely 8 years old. You hear that? That little...
Good.
Yeah, that's the sediment that's going through it.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm gonna turn this off real quick. What happens is that sediment will build up because right here is almost the bottom of the heater. You got about a ½ inch left before the bottom of the heater.
Okay.
That sediment will raise all the way up to here and
God.
cover this, causing issues with this, and then you're also losing the amount of water you actually have, hot water.
Oh my God.
Causing this to overwork because it's not only heating the water, it's heating the sediment at that bottom of the tank. Like I said, this one is not as bad as some of the ones I've seen because it's a newer model.
Oh my God, Greg. Okay. I'm a believer now. I'm a believer of the value of changing this out.
So once every 6 months, you do exactly what I just did. You turn that valve on. Some of you might have a screw there. Like I said, you just turn that flathead screwdriver counterclockwise. You let it run out. You see all that white on the ground. That's what's going to come out. It'll take about, I usually say about 25 to 30 minutes. You just come out here and gently feel the water. Once it starts running out of hot water and it starts turning cold, that's when you can turn it off.
Yeah, this is what came out of my my water heater. Oh my goodness. What in the? Okay, I need to do better, people. I done had my house for
I'll be back
for 20. I done had my house for 23 years. 23, yeah, going on 23 years, and I admittedly I haven't really done well on purging that. So Greg to taught me something already. Hopefully that helps y'all too. All right, well, I definitely want to kind of show y'all this last part right here. This is the comparison. This is sediment that sits under the bottom of at the bottom of your tank. So think of that as water that you could pretty much purge out. But I guess to a degree, we got all except the fact when we say we taking a bath, guess what? Some of this is still getting on your body. That's literally coming straight out of this. Is just where the old tank was sitting. This is where the old tank was sitting, y'all. So when they say sediment, it literally is sand and some rock substance and things like that. So just think about that. And if you have the opportunity to flush it out, the better. You know what I mean? So it don't build up. And that may help me to have a longer lasting time on this tank. So we'll try to put a few things in practice. So first thing, I got to get a hose. Second thing, I got to use it. So now that a lot of the sediment has kind of cleared through, you can now see the water just a little clearer. It's just a little clearer. And but man, believe it or not, I've actually seen where the water in my coming through my pipes is actually white. So, and by the way, I have a water softener, so it's amazing that that much sediment is just building up in my water heater. So that's a good thing. So the water is clear right now, but all we doing is just draining it since you got to replace it, make it lighter. Ain't no need to be carrying a heavy water heater that's full of water. Wow. But you can see it's much clearer right now, whereas earlier it was definitely the brown. Oh, he doing something real fun. All right, now what are you doing?
Sorry?
Now what are you doing?
I am soldering on new adapters so that the new supply lines, if you ever have an issue with the supply line, all you're going to have to do is unthread it instead of unsweating it and doing all this.
Okay, gotcha. When I heard this, I had to come check it out. I think we got. Well, that's it. You clear?
Just like that.
You clear, sir.
Beautiful. That was the hard part. I was worried about that. All right.
I'm impressed. All right, Grant has put the new one in. It's looking good in the neighborhood, and it fit pretty well up in there. Let me know if you need a light or anything.
Yes, sir. I'm good.
It is a little fatter. I guess it's about the same height, right? It's an inch taller.
It's about an inch and a half taller.
About an inch and a half taller.
It's fatter because these new heaters, they have more insulation, making them more efficient. They don't have to work as hard to keep your water hot. So.
All right, go ahead and explain why we got a little break. This bad boy right here. What is this called?
This right here is called the expansion tank.
Can you go a little bit deeper in why that's important and what it does?
Yes, sir. So it's called thermal expansion. When water in your heater heats, it expands. When you're on a closed system, you have your water softener over there. The water gets pushed back into the water system, and it'll damage that just because of the back pressure of it. It's the same concept if you have what's called a PRV, a pressure regulating valve out in your yard. That back pressure will damage that. So this right here, basically it has, the best way to describe it is a balloon inside that absorbs that pressure. So it takes the stress off your heater, it takes the stress off of your softener, off your PRV, and it just extends the life of your water heater.
Gotcha. And so he's about to install that bad boy somewhere up in this cabinet, right?
Yes, sir. So right up there, there's a T on your cold side. I've already got a 90 over, so I'm putting it right on that 90.
All right, perfect, man. So I will say I was hesitant. I'm spending my money at the end of the day. But apparently this is supposed to be a good thing. Bring it to 2021 standards of an expansion tank. Expansion tank. So it's physically a new piece that's going to go in here. And if I'm correct, it's supposed to give me a little more life.
Yes, sir. It helps take the stress off of your unit.
And so that helps with sediment, or just
not necessarily with sediment, but it helps with the
pressure of pushing the expansion of the tank inside.
Right. The tank inside, it helps absorb that expansion so that the tank itself doesn't deal with it.
Okay.
So that's what causes like your old one. That's one of the reasons that it could have failed.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. All right. Cool, man. Well, he's put it in. Doing a great job out here. Real patient with me being in his way. So I appreciate it, though, man. But, yeah, this is pretty cool to see because this is a lot of stuff that I definitely did not have. But I want to say that part, believe it or not, the expansion valve is one of the things that is covered by the American Home Show. So I guess it's something that's completely needed. And, He's getting it in, twisting it on there, y'all. So I guess I'm up to code now. 2021. Ready to rock and roll, baby. Okay, I don't know what that was. That's something look like that's new right there.
So that is just basically an adapter piece. Like I was explaining, you had that flex line. I think it's over there.
Okay.
Connecting your TMP here to this piece of copper back here. I've transitioned it to CPVC. Cheaper because it's not going to be under pressure unless something goes wrong. But CPVC, PEX, and copper are all approved materials for your TMP line.
Okay.
So.
By the way, you got some blue stuff in your hair now.
It doesn't surprise me. It happens all the time.
Let me show my man got a little blue in his hair.
Right there. I'm trying to go blue on
That's
one
right.
side.
He bringing it to sexy. He's trying to bring sexy back. So yeah, man, he's doing a good job, and I guess I know I've been a bit baby about it, but I guess you got to do some stuff yourself. So it is what it is. So this is good stuff, man. So hopefully some of this stuff helps y'all, because I don't know anything about this. But if nothing else, I will say this much. I feel cool about the fact that I may be doing a little bit better on my maintenance on my water heater. Even if I just set it 6 months, every 6 months, just go and put it on my calendar so it automatically alert me to do it. So just come out here and just run a hose. First thing I got to get is a good hose, because all my hoses dry rotted. So good. But I'm going to get a good hose and get it out here and just drain it so I don't be bathing in white sediment. What was I doing? All right. Okay, so what he wanted me to do is make sure that I have the water in one of my bathrooms open. Specifically the hot water and decent pressure. But the issue with this thing is that this thing is stuck up, and I just need to replace it. So with that said, I just took it all the way off. So now that I took it all the way off, I'll just go ahead and get this replaced today. You know what I mean? I'll just go ahead and get this replaced today. But look at that. So we just going through a whole lot of changes today. So that's why you see that pipe exposed, but he just wanted to pretty much aerate the water or whatever. So, but by the way, in case y'all ever want to just change this real easy, just twist it and it just comes off. And then you just go get another one. They like $5. So I don't know why I just never got it done. Let me change it. I'll bring it back home. Call it done. But you can hear that air. That's air in the line. He just turned the water back on. And we good to go. So just want to show y'all that part. This is my tub. There you go, Maddie. Oh wow. Y'all see the water? It's shooting through now. You think I stayed up here?
Yeah.
Just shooting straight back to the back wall. And he just wanted to make sure he got the water all sprayed out, so. Well, that's pretty cool to see, right? So here we go. This is what a finished product installation looks like with the new piece. He added this part right here. Added this part. See, it's all new. The wraparound PVC top joint. This right here. The tank up there.
That should normally go together.
He was able to keep a vent. He was able to keep the vent, right?
Yes, sir.
He was able to keep the vent. Change the lines on the back. And we are warming up water, y'all. So right now it is on, I guess, hot. And this is a GCR 40 250 40-gallon tank, natural gas, by A.O. Smith Commercial Made. So that'll pretty much be what we got here, man. So we about to take warm showers, y'all. About to take some warm showers. You can see the fire. I don't know if you can see the fire in there, but it is. You see that little orange right there? The fire is on. So we are good to go. We ready to rock and roll. So we now have electricity. Who got hot water? Maclin Plumbing and took care of me. Maclin Plumbing and took care of me.